According to teasers for Young and the Restless, Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinel, could make a significant move that her parents could consider rash and wind up winning big or losing everything. They appear to be getting married since Ashland Locke, Richard Burgi, appears to be running out of time. But is he pursuing retribution because of this whole scam? On the CBS soap opera, Is True Love Stealing Them Away? Victoria Newman and Ashland will soon go to New York City to see a cancer specialist. It appears that Victoria persuaded him to get help for his ailment. Ash informed Victoria that he currently only had 6 months to live. However, neither Victoria nor viewers have seen Ash with a physician. The major concern is whether Victoria would accompany Ashland to the cancer doctor in future Young and the Restless episodes. According to additional Y&R spoilers, Victoria Newman will be telling her parents some very important news. Next week, when she gets back from her trip, she tells Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, and Victor Newman, Eric Braden, something significant. It might be Ashland's health update. However, teasers for Young and the Restless hint at something even more intimate. Victoria and Ashland plan their honeymoon in the most recent I&R promo for the next week. It appears that a wedding is being planned. Additionally, Victoria Newman might surprise her parents with a marriage proposal. Immediate marriage is the couple's goal. The Silver Fox and Victoria Newman had a brief but intense romance. Normally, Victoria would take her time and consider her options. However, the businessman's illness has accelerated their relationship. Nothing appears to be able to end their connection, from living together to exchanging "I love yous." Elizabeth Liner's character Tara Locke, his ex, might not be a barrier. Since they had a prenuptial agreement and Harrison Locke, Kellen Enriquez, is the only one receiving assets from him, the Young and the Restless writers may claim that their divorce was fast. It shouldn't stop him from marrying Victoria Newman, even if she is attempting to get full custody. Spoilers for Young and the Restless suggest that the businessman's proposal to Victoria will happen quickly. Does that imply, however, that she won't take the usual safety measures? The main query is whether fans would witness their marriage or whether they will get married off-screen. Most COVID regulations were abolished by the soap operas. Will Victoria Newman have a lavish event or a quiet ceremony? A prenuptial agreement might not be considered because things could happen so quickly. Alternatively, Victoria Newman doesn't care because they both have a lot of money and her new spouse could still pass away. However, there are clues of a scheme including Victoria as the target in some Young and the Restless talk. All this time was the vicious businessman pretending to be ill. He could easily con his new wife because he didn't have a prenuptial agreement. Ashland Locke has a fierce reputation and dislikes losing, as Young and the Restless spoilers tell us. He was having a heart attack when Victoria's father tricked him into signing a contract. Ash may be trying to harm the CBS Sudzer by lying about a terminal illness, the merger, and Victoria Newman. Victoria is not the best person to judge guys, as evidenced by her Young and the Restless past. Her previous lover was physically abusive, and she pinched for her ex-husband for months. A rushed "I do" would leave Victoria vulnerable on a personal and professional level. Since the merger with Locke Communications, Ashland already has complete access to Newman Enterprises. However, he can also claim Victoria Newman's own wealth after the wedding. Updates from Young and the Restless hope that this isn't the case for fans of Astoria. However, the Loch Ness Monster side that everyone discussed has not been shown. He has been Prince Charming instead. Watch to see if Victoria Newman's declaration of "I do" results in her happily ever after or a terrible reality check. Every choice has repercussions in Genoa City, but few have the explosive potential of Victoria Newman's most recent action. An entire town is buzzing about her hurried, passionate, and tense wedding. No one anticipated, and even fewer genuinely embrace. Power struggles, emotional upheavals, and corporate conflicts loom. Something sinister is already simmering behind the glitz of the hurriedly planned event. Fans and adversaries alike are unable to overlook the pressing question it poses. Will Victoria lose everything as a result of this hasty marriage? Victoria Newman has experienced her fair share of emotional breakdowns, business conflicts, and relationship catastrophes. She has both created and witnessed the fall of empires. Despite feeling stifled by her family's demands, she has remained devoted to them. Nevertheless, she always gets back up stronger, sharper, and more determined after falling. However, her most recent decision, motivated by a combination of pride, emotion, and complex loyalty, might be the one that ultimately jeopardizes everything she has worked so hard to achieve. The actual wedding was stunning, sophisticated, and overflowing with Newman resources. Beneath the smooth exterior, however, lurked a tempest of discomfort. The guest list was filled with whispers long before the vows were uttered. The timing was questioned by a few visitors. The groom was questioned by others. Victoria's mental state was questioned by several. However, Victoria disregarded all the warning signs since she was adamant that this marriage represented a fresh start. However, secrets are rarely kept hidden in Genoa City, and the most perilous secrets of all might be concealed by this combination. A wedding that could be more expensive than she thinks. Victoria has always been motivated by love, ambition, and the desire to live up to her father's heritage. Additionally, she gives her all when selecting a mate. It is both her advantage and disadvantage. Her most recent suitor is a man who has succeeded in winning her over, helping her through difficult times, and persuading her that he provides stability. The entire Newman family is tense, though, because of how quickly they were married. In Genoa City, a hurried wedding rarely turns out well. Rushed unions frequently come apart with disastrous consequences, as history has shown. But Victoria thinks she is in charge. She views her current marriage as a new chapter, a power move, and a means of overcoming the difficulties of previous partnerships. She is unaware that there may already be cracks in the ground beneath her. Her closest friends and family are keeping a close eye on her. Some out of fear, some out of love. A handful as they possess knowledge that she does not. The concern is not only if this marriage will fail, but also if Victoria will be brought down with it. Victor Newman, a high-alert father's instincts. Rarely does Victor Newman's intuition fail him. He has withstood betrayal, family implosions, corporate conflicts, and innumerable adversaries. He is the first to recognize when something is amiss. Victor also feels danger looming over Victoria at the moment. Victor may not express it directly, but it is clear that he is concerned. He has witnessed Victoria's rash decisions in the past, particularly when it comes to emotional issues. However, this choice feels different. Quicker, more dangerous, more motivated by passion than by strategic planning. Furthermore, Victor worries that his daughter is stepping into a trap that can cost her more than just her happiness. Victor did not express approval by remaining silent during the wedding. It was a calculation. He is already getting ready for the consequences, the inquiries, the conflicts, and the defense tactics he always uses when his kids are in danger. However, even he might not be prepared for what is next. He has previously witnessed dubious alliances. He has witnessed opportunists try to scale their mountain of power by entering the Newman circle. However, he senses a feeling of urgency this time. A worry that Victoria would lose much more than she anticipated if he doesn't act quickly. Nikki Newman. The smile hides alarm bells despite her studied grace. Nikki's eyes showed her trepidation as she watched the ceremony. No one knows her daughter as well as she does. She knows when Victoria is going to fall too quickly and too hard. When she was younger, she experienced it herself, the rash choices, the highs and lows of her emotions, and the need to flee by making big judgments. All of her maternal instincts were awakened as she saw her daughter walk down the aisle so swiftly. Even though protecting Victoria from heartbreak came with unpleasant facts, Nikki has spent years attempting to keep her safe. A familiar fear now rises in her chest. She fears that Victoria will be emotionally harmed by this marriage and drawn into something extremely risky. Nikki suspects that Victoria's husband might not be who he is posing as. Manipulation and ulterior intentions. Despite her want to trust Victoria's judgment, she is aware that her daughter's emotions can occasionally override her reason. Newman Enterprises at risk. An imminent corporate disaster. Victoria's strength, self-assurance, and vision have been hallmarks of her leadership at Newman Enterprises. She has outwitted opponents and shown that she is more than capable of managing the empire. However, her adversaries, both internal and external, are constantly on the lookout for any signs of weakness. Furthermore, a hasty marriage to a man whose intentions are still unknown is precisely the kind of flaw that leads to anarchy. When CEOs link their personal choices to company power, Boards shudder. Stability is questioned by investors. Competitors get ready to attack. Behind closed doors, employees whisper. All of Victoria's marriages have had some impact on Newman Enterprises, but this one might be the riskiest yet. Her new husband may be interested in corporate leverage, according to rumors. It's unclear if he wants influence, control, or access. However, a spouse is frequently the simplest way to gain access to a company's protected core in a world where allegiance fluctuates. Victoria's decisions at the organization may be jeopardized if her judgment is impaired. Everything she has created could be undermined by a single mistake, and her adversaries will seize the opportunity without hesitation. The groom's secrets. An unexpected development in the wings, waiting every Genoa City Quickie wedding has a unique spin. This one is no different. According to sources, Victoria's new husband might be concealing something significant that would rock her to her core if it were made public. The rumors get louder, whether they are about a secret agenda, a hidden past, or an unspoken relationship to a rival. Some people think he might be motivated by money. Some believe he has ties to a former Newman foe. Some people think he is not who he says he is. Victoria's world might fall apart in a second if any of these theories come to pass. Victoria's biggest flaw is her lack of trust. She gives her heart completely once she is given it. She is therefore the ideal target for someone with a risky scheme because of her susceptibility. Billy Abbott. An impending storm on the sidelines, Billy has never been able to completely escape Victoria's sphere of influence. Their past is lengthy, complex, agonizing, and unforgettable. They never really let go of each other, even after they move on. Additionally, Billy's response to the hurried wedding confirms what fans anticipated. He's anxious. He's furious. He's also getting ready for calamity. Billy is aware of Victoria's tendencies. He is aware of her stress-related reactions. He is aware of the way she conceals suffering beneath her business facade. He is also aware that entering into a marriage too soon typically indicates that she is dealing with far more serious internal issues. Although not everyone agrees with Billy's protective tendencies, he senses a problem. He believes the groom poses a threat. He detects motives that Victoria won't look into. Additionally, Billy Abbott doesn't remain mute when he senses threat. He could be the wild card that makes all the difference in this unraveling situation. The domino effect. A turning point in Victoria's life. Victoria is unwittingly at a crossroads as secrets linger beneath the surface and suspicions swirl. She thinks she's guaranteed happiness. She feels that she has protected herself from her previous heartbreaks. She may have let a much more destructive storm in, but she is unaware of this. She might lose her marriage, her stability, and her self-confidence if her new husband is made public. She may lose her job, and with it, her identity if Newman Enterprises suffers. She risks losing the tenuous calm she has worked so hard to create if her family steps in too forcefully. This one choice might have an impact on every aspect of her life. And the earth beneath Victoria starts to change as rumors imply secrets. Now, more than just whether the marriage will last is at stake. Whether Victoria will is the question. She might not recover from a fall. From Victoria, Newman is resilient. She always manages to rebuild. However, the weight of accumulated treachery can cause even the strongest to crumble. According to the teasers, revelations in the coming weeks will put Victoria to the test on all fronts: personal, professional, and emotional. She might discover that the man she most trusted was abusing her to gain authority. Because she committed herself to an untrustworthy person, she might see Newman Enterprises sucked into disarray. Even her unwavering resolve won't be able to protect her from a heartbreak this severe. Supporters worry that the drop could be too severe this time.